Hello, you're welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Elizabeth, and if this is the first time you are seeing me on YouTube, I'm gonna say a big welcome. Well, this is my first video on my channel, and I want to talk about something that I have been thinking about, and it is a topic that I believe that all of us can benefit from, whether you are a young person or you are an adult or probably you are possibly older. This is a topic that I believe needs to be addressed, and I hope that you watch this video and learn a thing or two. So the topic today is what I wish I knew before I became an adult. Now, I'm sure you're wondering, how old are you? What do you know, right? And yes, I am a young adult, but I've noticed that I've learned one or two things. And even if I don't know everything, of course, I know something. I've learned something. And of course, in every nonsense, there is a sense. So, I want to tell you the four things that I wish I knew before I became an adult. And I hope that you learn something from this, especially the younger generation, the ones that are still coming up. I hope this video will find you and you will learn something from it. Also, I want this to be interactive. Of course, this is a video and you cannot talk to me directly, but you can interact with this video by liking, commenting, and also just letting me know what you think, because I want to know what you learned also, or what you wish you knew when you were younger. All right, so let's get right into the video. The first thing I wish I learned when I was younger, before I became an adult, was how to be financially independent, or how to get financial intelligence. What do I mean by that? There was a certain time I was going through social media. I think I was watching a video of Facebook, and I'm not sure the social media platform that I watched it on, either Facebook or Instagram, but I saw this young man, right? And I think he was into crypto trading. If I'm remembering correctly, he was into crypto trading, right? And this young man was making good money from it. I think, he was abroad. He was in high school, right? So he was being interviewed because he was making so much money at a young age. And the way he spoke, you could see that this guy had wisdom. And he was saying something regarding how young people should be taught about money. Um, it should be incorporated, possibly in the syllabus, in the curriculum. People should learn from a young age on how to make money, how to handle money, how to be, financially independent. And that really stuck with me. And he was absolutely right. He was even saying that his mom was now learning how to do the trading and all that. And I was like, of course, why not? It's something that's making you money, it's something that you understand, and your mom is going to learn it soon and be making her own money. Why not? And it is actually true. This is something that I don't hear. I've not heard something like this before. I'm not saying I've listened to old videos uh, or watch all the videos, or listen to all the podcasts, or maybe seen every media outlet out there talk about this. But I'm saying that this is something that is actually very, very, very useful. Imagine someone in primary school already. If you're in Nigeria, you understand what primary school is. Primary school, there are levels to education. There's pre-nursery, there's primary, there's secondary, and then there's tertiary institution, where you have the university, colleges, polytechnics, and all that. So imagine someone, a child from primary school. The child is already learning about money. It's already learning about money, the basics of money. They understand money, and by secondary school, you imagine it being in the curriculum. Not just because you are yeah, maybe in the social sciences and you are studying economics or something. But in every class, whether you're in the science or the art class or in the social sciences, you are studying something that is related to money. You have a subject that is addressing that. And then in the university curriculum too, you have not just, you know, I know there's a course, I'm aware of one that you do in a particular semester, and an entrepreneurship course that teaches you, you know, around how to be an entrepreneur, learn a skill, something, and you work on that. But what if this is incorporated not just in a semester, it is more than a semester, maybe in a whole year or in 2 years, in any course you're studying, you're taught entrepreneurship, you're taught, you know, finances, how to handle money. We keep learning, go to school, we learn, yeah, we learn something, master it, and it is nice to master it and get a certificate. But when you come out from school and you don't know how to manage money, you don't understand money, you don't know how to reproduce money, you can have 1 million or 2 million in your account, and in a month, and the next month is gone. You can't account for it, you don't know how you spent the money, you don't know what happened to the money, you cannot even reproduce the money. Just because you have a million naira, or even 10 million or 20 million in your account does not make you a millionaire. It is your ability to reproduce that money. And you're in that state where you can reproduce that money consecutively. It's not you having it once in your account that makes you a millionaire or a billionaire. How are you able to reproduce that reality? How are you able to reproduce that money? These are the things that we should consider. So I think the younger generation, if you're watching this, or if you're a parent, consider this. Teach your child how to be financially independent. Find courses, simple things that they can learn. And even people who are, who are professionals in this area, they can come up with simple courses that, young people can learn. As you can understand, based on your level of understanding, until you are an adult, and basically just teach people how to manage money and how to utilize money. I really think that that can go a long way. The second thing I want to talk about is what I don't think I heard very much when I was young, and that was the fact that you need to learn a skill. And not just learn a skill, you need to master the skill. All right, I know normally people expect you to go to school, get the degree, start a job, and work on that, and that's how you make your money. But in this day and age, you may not be able to survive on one source of income. And in the past, having a skill was not really something that, I don't think it was something that was really welcomed, or something that was really giving the level of importance that it should have. You know, I want you to, if you're watching this video, look at your country and check the people who are making money right now just from their skills, not what they studied in school, but from their skills alone, and see how much money they are making. I'm not saying education is not important, it is very important. For me, education cannot be removed. I don't think it should be removed because it gives you an edge above others, definitely. But with your education, you should add a skill. You should add a skill. And I know sometimes it may not be feasible to be learning in school and also be learning a skill, but you have to create time. And I believe it should start from when a person is young. A child, you see that your child likes um to breed, right? Your child likes to breed. Try to make that child learn that. Just probably take them to someone who knows how to braid. Let them just be learning that there. You don't know, probably braiding is something you see them playing with their dolls, they're braiding, and you're like, oh well, just try, invest in it, pay for them to go learn under somebody. Maybe if they can't do it during their normal time in school, they can do it during their break, when they have a break or something. You don't know what that can do for your child. You don't know how impactful that will be for that your child. When they get to university now, if they master that skill, when they get in the university, you will see that they will be making money from it. And when their mates are coming out with certificate, they will have their certificate also, but they will also have a skill that can, if they have mastered, can separate them from others. And that is actually very, very important in this day and age. It cannot be overemphasized. All right. The third thing I want to talk about is the fact that life is not easy. You know, there's this song that I've heard, and it talks about um, life not being easy. The song says adulthood not scam, right? Adulthood not scam. That's what the song talks about. But it is not so much so that adulthood is a scam, but it is that adulthood will come upon you, and if you're not prepared for it, you might actually regret it, because it is not a joke. When you're a child, you can make mistakes, right? And you may get scolded or corrected, and but at the end of the day they can say, oh, this is a child, let's overlook this. But as an adult, it's not just the fact that when you make mistakes, people hold you to a higher level of, like, they expect you to just be making the right decisions. But also, as an adult, the decisions you make determine your destiny. Decisions make destiny, and as an adult, you have to be very careful the decisions that you make. And I believe that children, people should be prepared for adulthood. And I know that, what do you mean by that? How do you prepare for adulthood? But seriously, I think people should be prepared for the reality of adulthood, because adulthood could be difficult when you don't prepare for it. And I have to say, if you are doing adulthood without God, I don't know how you are doing it, because God is, I mean, you shouldn't do life without Him, whether you're a child or whatever. But in your adulthood, you will really know that without God, you cannot do anything, because it's opens your eyes to just life in general. You are now expected to know what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to make the right decisions, and you cannot make the wrong decisions. And of course, human beings are prone to mistakes, and it's not as if when you make the wrong decisions, you are that's ended for you. But you shouldn't be making these wrong decisions, because who knows? Who knows? It could have dire consequences, and you don't want that. So I believe that young people, children, should be prepared for adulthood. Prepare them spiritually by getting them to be close to God, introduce them to Jesus at a young age. At a young age, children should be introduced to Jesus, and they should be equipped. They should be told the truth. Don't be lying to your children. Another thing that people don't tell young people is about this whole relationship thing. You don't tell them about relationships. You don't even, in the African household, it is barely talked about. Getting into relationships, how to handle relationships, heartbreaks, what is supposed to be done in a relationship, sex education. These are the things that are not talked about. And since they are not talked about, you are not supposed to, in primary school, of course, you shouldn't have a boyfriend. Secondary school, don't have a boyfriend. University, focus on your books. But when you have graduated, come home with a wife, come home with someone you want to marry, right? But in between, the hormones come in, and when children are not educated and they are not prepared for adulthood, they tend to make mistakes. They tend to make mistakes. They tend to make mistakes that sometimes they don't are not able to correct. So I don't know if you are understanding what I'm saying, but I'm saying, if you are a parent right now and you're watching this, invest in your child. Don't be hiding. Of course, there's some things you can't tell the child, obviously, in plain English, or just you can't tell the child directly what you're trying to say, but you can be giving them just little by little, trying to educate them on things that they should know. Don't hide things from them, so that in the future they won't end up making mistakes. And you're wondering, why did this child make this mistake? Probably because you didn't tell them, you didn't prepare them. Don't tell them that life is easy. Don't tell them that, oh, you can get anything you want. You can't. Not really. because sometimes there are situations in life everybody's not going to like you. You in life, in adulthood, you might see that you are losing friends. Teach them how to handle their emotions so they won't come out being angry people when they grow up. How to handle grief, how to handle challenges. These are things that you can teach them as a parent, and you can also give them access to people's maybe books. I think one of the places where you can get information about people's experiences is in books. There's obviously storybooks, novels where you can learn and just you can learn about stories and just improve your vocabulary, right? But what if you give them books that are actually impactful, ones they can read and understand? Give them books that are actually useful to their life. Give them books that are actually useful to their life, and you will see that you are going to thank yourself for it. You're going to thank yourself for it, because just find books that are actually impactful. People that maybe went through challenges, right? And they were able to overcome these challenges, and they wrote it in a book. You can carry that book, buy that book, and give it to your child. Be like, read this. Give them things that can help them in their future. Try to help those children. I believe these things are not talked about, and that's been on my mind, and I said I'm going to share it. And well, hopefully this is actually helping someone. Finally, I want to talk about the fact that you are not supposed to have it all figured out. And there is obviously room for change. The fourth thing is, as an adult, why it is expected that you should have it figured out. It is okay if you don't have it figured out completely, because there are a lot of adults that don't have things figured out. They don't really know what they are supposed to be doing. And although it is not the best, it is also not the end of the world. While you're an adult, I think one of the reasons why a lot of people are just frustrated, right? They look at their mates. Ah, this is my friend. We went to school together, and this my friend has this person is making millions. This person has married. This person has done this. He has done that. And look at me. And I don't think people are taught from childhood that it is okay if you have not figured some things out yet. Be kind to yourself and be patient. Try to take your time and learn. Sometimes the thing you studied in school is not the thing that you are going to use for the rest of your life. It's possibly not even what you're going to use to make money or even use to fulfill purpose. So take your time. Take time to actually discover yourself. Take time to actually learn about yourself. Try to find out what can I do, and give yourself time. Be kind to yourself. Don't be harsh and try to compare yourself with others. Comparison doesn't work and it doesn't help, because that person you're comparing yourself to, you don't really know what is going on in their life. They are showing you the glitz, the glam, they're showing you their Instagram posts, you are seeing their pictures, but you don't really know what's going on in their life. Instead of you to be depressed and sad regarding the life of others, focus on yourself. Take time to discover yourself. So, as an adult, you probably will not have it all figured out at once. But if you are serious about your life, you will figure it out in time. Be patient with yourself. Young people, be patient. And so, I hope that with these few points of mine, I've been able to convince you that you should try to get these things. At least just think about it and see if there's any sense to anything I just said. So finally, I want to say, young person watching me, it's okay. It is okay. All right. Even if it looks like things are hard now, I want you to know that it's okay. And by the grace of God, if you walk with God and you are consistent and you are improving on yourself daily, definitely you are going to conquer and you are going to make a difference. So I just hope that this video finds you and that you learn a thing or two. And also, I want to hear from you in the comment section. Just let me know, what do you wish you were told when you were young, before you became an adult? And even those who are adults now, what do you think we young people should learn? Please let me know in the comment section. Thank you so much and see you on my next video. Bye.